All right, I have a lot of messages from the Blue Healers today, so I'll start with that, and then I'll pause and we'll ask some questions. All right, today, thank you all. We thank you all for being here. There are so many important messages. As you know, this is new for us to be sharing information with you through this host. We have been to many experiences on your planet, and many of our kind are working hard to communicate when we are asked to come in and communicate. So you call us the Blue Healers. We will continue to use that term as long as it continues to suit you as well. Our message today is very clear and very important. Things on your planet are changing. They're changing very rapidly. And in the next few years, these things will be so important to know how much change is coming and that it'll happen fast. If you are unable to be part of the change, or those you know may be unable to change with the things that are coming, these relationships for you will fall away. They'll fall away because you have an important task in the next few years on your planet, and that is to focus inward. Your inward focus is where your healing happens. Many of you ask about healing. For us, it is not a separate concept. Healing isn't a separate concept. It just is a shift in energy. When you are in the process of what you call healing, make sure that you are not focusing on the problem itself. That is what we call self-absorption. And your planet has a lot of self-absorption, a lot of self-focus. And self-focus only brings more self-focus. So for those of you with the level of awareness to understand the fifth dimension even exists, by considering that your body has some type of problem that needs to be solved, and you focus your energy there by adding more supplements, changing your diet, adding this, adding that, doing things, know that you are intensely focusing on the problem and not on the solution. So your focus for the next few years is the same as what it requires for you to heal. And that is to take your focus outside of yourself wholly and completely and into the fifth dimension energy realm. That is where energy is just pure and exists. That is not to say that the fifth dimension is without its own problems. However, don't focus there either. The importance for you in your meditations and in your healing process is that you focus on energy itself. What does it feel like for you to be well? What does it feel like for your body to heal itself? What does it feel like for the problems in your external world to no longer exist? You have to lift your energy out of the darkness, out of the negativity, out of what you may perceive to be challenges and difficulties, and put it entirely 100% on the energy within you that is already what you might call perfect. Your world is changing, and it's changing rapidly. And we have received information that more and more of your kind will be asking us for assistance. More and more of your kind will be reaching out to fifth dimensional beings for assistance. Understand that it has not been a part of our knowing to help you on that level. And because it is coming in such a rush, where so many of you are reaching out and continue to do so, we all encourage you to continue to reach out for assistance from the fifth world. There's a reason the fifth dimension has a setup the way it is. It's not about your evolution. You are not growing and changing to become fifth dimensional beings. You are already fifth dimensional beings that are living in a third dimensional world. It was a creation of your own minds. It was a creation of what came from nothing. You can call it an experiment. You can call it an interesting phenomenon. However, it is just what it is. It is a thing that is happening. Third dimension is just happening. And it is no less important, no less interesting than anything else that happens in the universe. We know, however, that the knowledge we have can assist you. And we know that it is perhaps a possibility that you will slip out of third dimensional reality more frequently than ever before. Know and understand that it is not your goal to change from 3D to 5D. It is not your goal to try to leave your body. It is your goal simply to focus on and remember that the oneness of energy of all things is the source of and the answer to all questions and problems in your lives. If you are looking for very specific ways of healing your body, here's what we recommend. The first thing is you are not consuming enough water. The human 3D body requires a tremendous amount of water. That is not to say you should overdo it. Just know that consistent consumption of water is important for the cells and the tissues in your body to feel the energy of all things. So be sure that each hour of your day, unless you are sleeping, you are consuming some water. There are some of you who probably reach evening time or your sleep time and realize you haven't had any water at all day. Remember again and again, if you need to, remind yourself to drink enough water. This does not matter where you were living. All climates, all time zones, all experiences in the human world require this life-giving property. The second thing is breathing. Many of you do not breathe properly or breathe deeply enough. Begin to focus on your breathing. Make sure that you know how important it is to breathe in deeply and exhale completely. Again, do not make this an emphasis that is so focused within your mind that you lose all other focus on other things. This is just good general human hygiene, water, and breathing properly. Many of you participate in something you call breath work. This practice is excellent for retraining the body on how to breathe. Breathe in a way that allows your body to feel nutrients coming in from your environment. Many of you ask what we eat. We generally do not eat unless it is something we do as a courtesy to those with whom we are visiting. That is because we absorb nutrients from the surroundings, and you can do the same. Your culture has become intensely dependent on food. It has become an addiction. In fact, many of the human people are addicted to one thing or another. That is one thing that separates 3D from 5D, is this need for addiction to something, whether it is food or substances or experiences or things that you see that take you away from your fundamental connection to all things in energy. Drink water. Learn to breathe properly. Your infants know how to breathe properly. If you have an infant in your life, you can look to this infant for more information. They have a lot to teach you about how to breathe properly. Next, once you are drinking water correctly, breathing correctly, now it is time for you to settle your body down. There is too much information going in that is irrelevant to your existence on your planet. Quiet all of that information down. That does not mean you need to hide yourself away in your homes or go out into nature and never see people again. The notion of that is simply ridiculous to us. We exist in your world without becoming your world. We exist in the universe without becoming the universe. That is because our focus is inward and not on external things. There are times when we are also needing to focus on external things, particularly when we visit your world or other worlds and we are asked to do things. Then our focus goes outward, but it is part of what your breath is like, where we breathe out, meaning focus outward, then we breathe in, focus inward in a balance that your kind have yet to understand. You can balance yourself in every single moment, regardless of what's going on around you. Instead, you often focus on feeling discomfort for the things that surround you, feeling discomfort for what people say, the experiences you are in, the noise that's around you. As soon as you focus outward, you lose that inward ability to balance yourself. So, in your meditations, take the time to recall that the reason you wear your eye mask, the reason you wear the headphones, the reason you cut off all of the stimulus around you is because you are learning, you are training yourself to be able to do the exact same thing in the midst of all the chaos of the 3D world. Do not misunderstand. There is chaos throughout the universe. The entire universe leans into chaos. It is your ability to master yourself, not in a way where you are fighting it, but in a way where you relax into it. That is work just for you to do on a day-to-day basis. We are asked the question very often, why is it that we go to healings with energy people, with meditation, or coherence healings with your retreats that you attend? Why are we not healed instantly like some people are? The truth is, you are unable to maintain the alliance of your energy with the energy of all things. So your body will wobble out of balance again. And it happens very quickly. For those of you who have very active minds, for those of you who are extremely intelligent, for those of you who have been addicted to using your thoughts as a way to escape, it is even more challenging for you. But it is also that same quality that will pull you out of this need for the addiction to your thoughts. It is also something we should tell you that we are being called, fifth dimension beings are called now more than ever, more poignantly in the last 30 days of Earth time, to come and be here. We are all over your planet. We are surrounding your planet. We don't know exactly what the purpose of this is. However, we are standing with one another, knowing that time is changing for you. Things are coming rapidly for you. And it is time for those of you with awareness and intelligence to step into what you call your power, to become quiet, to maintain that inner focus. Stop acting like a child in your world. It is time for you to be the grown up. Stop scrambling and wasting your resources on things that are not important. You know the answers. You have the answers. It is your emotional addiction, emotional immaturity that forces you out of a place of holding the space of change and transition and transformation for all unconscious beings on your planet. Ask yourselves why it is that you say you want something. You want freedom, you want liberation, yet you insist on being like a child, running after things that are not serving that purpose of becoming free. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Resist every single time the need for aggression of any kind. Aggression on your planet will inevitably rise in the next generation. However, for those of you who are capable of leaning out of aggression and into love, you will change the energy on the planet much more quickly. You will see changes in real time around you when you focus on the energy that is positive and also the energy of nothing. We ask you and encourage you, those of you with awareness, to begin now, today, to let go of your need for whatever childish addictions you have. Know that anything that compels you to do something again and again, where you feel helpless to it, or maybe you don't even recognize you cannot stop it, is an addiction. Our suggestion to you, again, for the healing of yourself, which ultimately is the healing of all beings on your planet, is to make sure you hydrate your body correctly. Make sure you are breathing correctly. Make sure you lean into love, away from aggression, and connect your energy to the quantum field as often as possible. Begin shedding and letting go of your story of being a victim. And finally, when it comes to healing your physical body, when you lose focus on your ability to connect your energy to the quantum field, step out of that space for a few moments. Look at yourself in a mirror. Reconnect with the gaze in your eyes for 1 to 2 minutes. Allow yourself to feel uncomfortable while you do it. And return to the quantum field. The image in your eyes when you get past judging your face or your thoughts is your deepest connection to the quantum field in the moment. You know your way there. So stop at times when you are trapped in a 3D experience. Excuse yourself to a quiet place for a moment. Look into your own eyes and say to yourself, I am standing in the quantum field. My body feels in this moment the quantum field. And then close your eyes. You may do this right now. Close your eyes. Imagine you are looking into your own eyes within yourself. Take a deep breath. Notice the energy lines behind your eyes. That is the quantum field. You can come here in any moment at any time, and you should do it very frequently. And we ask of you now, as all fifth dimensional beings do, call us for help. We can only help you if you ask. You may open your eyes, and we will take your first question.
Thank you so much for being here with us again. I can speak for myself here. You answered so many questions for me in what you just shared. So thank you so much. So the first question, and I apologize if there are questions where you might have already answered parts of them. We'll do our best to ask questions that you haven't answered yet. The first question is, for humans that experience illness and dis-ease, is the illness or dis-ease always brought on by, created by the human, such as by what they believe and their state of being, or are there other factors that bring about illness and dis-ease, such as karma or an agreement before coming to Earth?
Thank you for your question. First, we wish to say how grateful we are that you are even here in this space, because there are so many humans who do not ask. We appreciate and experience you in this moment as being incredibly insightful and helpful and loving and kind and generous. And we see that even with this question, how much you strive for another place to exist in your lives. The nobility of that, the beauty of that, is something that inspires us to continue to come and be here with you. You ask about how illness is formed in your body. Where does it come from? And in turn, I ask you a question that you only need answer within yourself. Why does it matter? Is there really a necessity for knowing if it comes from one of your previous lives, from karma, from your genetics, or from somewhere else? It is true that humans believe that all experiences are some type of lesson in evolution. All these experiences, even the questions you have of the origin of illness, is a lesson in your eyes. And some of it may matter in the individual's evolution. For the sake of the answer to this question, I urge you once again to focus forward, as you might think of it, or focus inward to the quantum field, where the energy is just that, an energy signature. If it makes you feel better to imagine that your tragic illness, or maybe your mild illness, comes from karma, whatever you believe that to be, which most humans have different ideas about what that means, and many are incorrect. If you feel better knowing that it is your genetics or your karma or something you are learning in the moment, let that story simply be part of the evolution and change of you as a whole human being. But do not let that story get in the way of the potential you have for healing yourself swiftly without any of that knowledge at all. However, we have come to understand how complex the human experience is. We have been asked if we were once humans, and the answer is no. None of us here today have ever been in a human form, and none of us ever have had a 3D experience such as yours. We do now understand because since we have been coming to speak with you, we have been observing the human experience a little bit more closely. To be honest, we had no interest in any of that prior to this. There was no need for it. And what we have noticed in the human experience is that there is an incredible story that follows you through your lifetimes. And indeed, this concept of numerous lifetimes, which all of you have had numerous lifetimes, is interesting to us. These stories that you weave together create what looks like almost a painting of one whole picture. Now remember that when you focus on healing yourself by looking at these stories, one story, one karmic experience is but one brushstroke on a painting. We would recommend that you step back from time to time and look at the painting as a whole to see that it is a picture of something much more beautiful than this one brushstroke of difficulty. Please ask more specific questions if you have them about karma or timelines or the origins of illness.
Thank you. Along with that question, there was a kind of a second part to it, and it said, I guess, related to what you just asked there. So, for instance, babies that come into the earth with conditions already at birth that impact, say, their ability to breathe or take in nutrients, is that something that they came in with because of karma or an agreement, like a lesson that they wanted to learn when they came to this earth?
That is a beautiful question. For us, infancy and childhood, adulthood, and old age are the same thing. For you, it is a linear timeline. When we look at your experiences and see what you create in your lives, we are fascinated by how you separate these things out to have meanings that are more significant than others. For many humans, babies are more sacred than the elderly. Babies are more sacred than even young children or adults. We find this very interesting that you create separate categories for living things. This hierarchy is something that we encourage you to examine a little more closely to see why it is you put more emphasis and fear on an infant over emphasis and or fear on any other stage of life. By the stories that you create in this 3D reality, yes, an infant may arrive with challenges from what you experience as previous lifetimes. But it is not their individual story that is happening in that moment. There are the parents and those around this baby. In addition to that, there is also the soul experience within the child. For when you leave your physical body, your 3D realm, what you call your soul does a little traveling in the 5th dimension. Unfortunately, many of the souls from your planet redo an experience again on Earth and in the 3D world. And I say unfortunately only for you, because many of you are trying to escape or relieve yourselves from 3D reality. I encourage you to enjoy all the experiences that you have in your 3D reality, no matter how many of them you have. Your experience is unique to you and your Earth, but not unique to the universe. Please do not think that 5D experience is anything better than what you have where you are. It is, again, something you have created in your mind as an escape from the suffering you experience as a 3D being. For those of you who are parents or who are around young children, we highly encourage you to not project victimization on an infant who has just arrived on the planet. Instead, see this child as a spiritual being having an experience, whether it involves illness or no illness. When we surround our infants, when you surround your infants with fear, what happens is they sense that fear is part of their initial experience of existence on your planet. Is that really what you want the babies to feel? Instead, emphasize love. It is very easy for most humans to love infants. When you focus your energy on an infant or even a young child who is yet to fully embody the 3D experience, it is important for positivity and love to be the majority of what they feel. This will change your species faster than anything else. So if you choose to focus outside yourself, which you must do in a 3D realm, focus on love, focus on joy, focus on what feels positive or exciting for you in the moment. And we highly encourage that you do not allow your children to absorb into their small bodies and their small energy beings all the negativity of your world that you don't even want to experience yourself. How do you do that? That's a good question for all of you. How do you insulate your children from the negativity that you currently are trying to get away from? There is an erroneous belief that children will somehow endure these things and just be fine. In fact, children are absorbing at a much faster rate than adults in the human form on Earth. They are taking in more energy from their surroundings than adults are on Earth. Because at a certain point in human development, the human begins to have more insulation from the outside world in an attempt to protect its inner world. Please ask the next question or ask for more clarification on that one.
Thank you. That was, I think, very detailed, and you gave a lot of information. So thank you. I'll move on to the next question. Can any and every disease or imbalance we experience in the human body be healed or brought back into balance with a change in energetic frequency alone? Or do we sometimes need external resources, such as specific vitamins and minerals, to restore a state of imbalance? And if we do sometimes need external resources, how can we truly know what we need, as there is so much information?
That question says a lot about all of you. Yes, you can heal anything energetically by connecting into the energy of health, which is ultimately the one energy of the quantum field. There's no image to it, there's no experience with it. You just take your sick body and the energy that your illness feels within you, and you meet up with the pure energy of the quantum field and allow the sick energy to become less and the quantum energy to become more. And the longer you stay in that place, the less the sick energy will continue to take a hold of you. And that takes practice. In the human form, because many of you cannot simply cure yourselves with energy, and indeed, even when we help, we can only give you an experience of what that healed energy feels like, the singularity of the quantum field. We can only give you an experience of that for a more prolonged time frame than you can do yourself. Yes, you will require things for your physical body in order to satiate the difficulties in the body, in order to allow enough comfort for your physical body to be able to access the quantum realm. We are asked many times whether or not it is supplements or natural things that are more important, or your pharmaceuticals that you use. Are they more important? The only answer is that all of it is important, and only you can know what your body requires in every moment. That does not mean that you will start taking something, whether it's natural or man-made, forever. You need to consistently be mindful of and use the things that enable you to have better quality of life, better breathing, better absorption of nutrients into your body, so that you can close your eyes and access the quantum realm more effectively and more efficiently. This also means being mindful of and taking care of your physical body. If your physical body is hurting, it is going to distract you just enough from your goal of achieving oneness with the quantum field to where you may never ever get there. Some humans believe that this is a lesson and that they need to struggle and fight to get through that in order to get to the other side. We do not recommend this approach. We recommend kindness, love, and beauty for your body. It is simply a vehicle for the energetic experience that you're having. Why do you continue to beat it up? You should be kind to the vehicle, just as you would put fuel in your car or change the oil. Your physical body is a far more beautiful and complex vehicle that requires your attention far more frequently than you give it. And there again, some of you spend a little too much time focusing on the physical body and not enough on the internal world for connection. There is a balance of these things. Not all supplements and not all medications are helpful to you. Again, the more you can get into the quantum field, or even begin to approach the quantum field, the more you will get messages about the things that are correct for your body in the moment. Quality does matter on your planet. It is important for you to understand that the dance you do with your monetary system and the struggles you create there often prevent you from having the food and nutrients that are best for your body in the moment. One thing we do know that humans are still figuring out is that you need a lot less than you think you need. More is not always better. In addition, the human body can only handle so much cleansing. Too much cleansing actually is not a good thing for the human body. there needs to be equal measure of care, both the removal of impurities, such as taking a shower, and the addition of joy and love and foods and supplements and medications that create a balance in your body so that you can continue to do the important things in your life, such as meditation and achieving the quantum field, or loving your children, or being awake at work. We do not believe that it is necessary for you as humans to put too much emphasis on any of the things that take you away from being in joy. And to say again, addictions do exist quite readily in the human race. And be mindful that you are not simply addicted to the next thing, be it supplements, medications, or natural things that take you out of your own ability to heal yourself. Next question.
Thank you. That was very helpful. The next question is, how much of what we experience on Earth did we choose before we came to Earth?
Everyone on Earth has an origin from somewhere. To believe that original origin is from any one planet is very interesting to us because we know that all things come from nothing. You talk of star seeds. Every human on your planet is what you might define as a star seed. And every energy within every human, what you would call a soul, has chosen an experience to be on Earth for one reason or another. And there are so many different reasons. We couldn't even tell you all of them because the universe is so vast and the dimensional realms are so vast. It is impossible to share every one of those stories. However, as a general guideline, many of you have come simply for the experience of being human. Others have come because their planet required more information, and the human realm has a way of transmuting energies so that those planets can extract information that maybe they never had or no longer have. There are species in the universe who like the negativity and the trauma and the drama that is so prevalent on your planet. And as you can see, there is a division between those souls and the ones who wish for peace. So there are some who come to this planet you call Earth voluntarily, and there are some who come involuntarily, meaning that their soul desires something, their energy desires something, and this is where they end up. One thing that makes humans unique is their ability to have these stories. For example, we do not even consider our origins. We know that we all come from the same energy. We do not have these stories in our population, but we find them fascinating, along with your art and music and things that are individual expressions. Perhaps then that is why star seeds, as you call them, come to your planet, is simply for the creative individual expression. Next question.
Thank you. The next question is, you say that you can download your knowledge from a kind of library. Do all beings in the universe have access to it, or just your species? Is the access limited, or is everyone allowed to download what they need?
This information is accessible to everyone. However, the humans actually have a distinct and unique ability because stories are part of the human makeup. We have heard that you call something the Akashic records. That would be the place for you to start, to find this information that is universally available. Someone on your planet has already compiled data that suggests the same concept. And once you access the Akashic records, as you call them, you will then find there are doorways on the back side of that library that lead to the next place. You may also try information in your meditations, for all of these stories are in the quantum field. However, in the quantum field, there are infinite possibilities, so it may be a bit more of a challenge for you to find the specific story you're looking for. Next question, please.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Who decides that we forget everything that came before when we incarnate on Earth? How do we know what our goal is?
Humans on Earth have developed the ability, some humans, very few of them, how to remember between lifetimes. The majority of humans on the planet Earth simply forget because once they lose the physical body, where the cells are all held together in a very dense way to create stories and memories, once the energy body is removed from the physical body, those memories are not stored as densely and heavily in the energy realm. So what you call a memory is actually a bit of information that is stored in the cells of your body. Every single cell has every single memory. And think of this, the physical body dies and it is buried or burned. And what happens is the spirit energy moves out of the physical body. And once it breaks free, all of those memories begin to fall away rather rapidly. And because of the strength of the experience of those stories and the longing for that body's memories being left behind, often instead of that spirit energy taking its time outside the body, it will immediately seek to find another one. Next question.
Thank you. Are there rules in the universe? If so, who determines this? If we are all divine, who manages us? Is there a God? If so, who is it?
This will be the last question, and I may ask for clarification on some of the parts.
Okay.
Yes, there is order to the universe, but not in the way that humans think of it. Humans like to believe that there are lines around things, and they put humans in positions to create lines around things because it is distinctly understood that humans are so externally focused and lack internal focus that they cannot manage to hold the order within themselves. They are required to be told how to act, what to do, when to do it. And the human struggles with that. Most humans struggle with that because their true nature is internal order. So the energy, spirit energy of the human will fight a little bit with that, some more than others. The order of the universe simply is what it is. We do not have distinct lines and boundaries. However, there are groups of beings who have taken charge of the order of the universe. Humans have given this group names. However, they do not identify themselves with any particular type of ideology. This body of beings simply seeks to prevent destruction. However, destruction from your perspective, this would be a much more loose term. The order in the universe is what it is because when you focus on the energy that creates all things, your fifth dimension reality or experiences, rather than focusing on external qualities, there is an order that exists already. What you call God is what we would call the source of all things. As we say again and again, all things come from nothing. And that is where God, as you describe it, lives. It's also important to understand that God simply, and this source of all energy, does not have a gender. Humans have a very interesting way of attaching to gender as if it's really important. In most other places in the universe, gender is not so emphasized or important. Please ask additional parts of this question.
Let's see if there's anything else I can extract from it. So I don't know if the person who asked the question has anything else they want to add to it.
If not, I will take one more question.
Okay. So the next question is, it is said that everything is connected to everything else, and everything is energy. Why does the human body lose energy over the decades and does not remain young and immortal?
This is an excellent question. In the 3D realm, you are pulled together simply by the thoughts and energies of the individual energy and the collective energy. And these stories that you tell create more 3D reality. You will notice, however, the humans who live longer, who look younger, your words, who have better health, oftentimes have a certain quality, an emphasis on joy, an emphasis on love, and an emphasis on internal connection, rather than an emphasis on external stimuli. That does not mean that all joyful people are healthy or that they will live longer. If this question is you seeking to understand how to live longer in the human form, which we highly encourage, there is much benefit to be had to live longer in the human form for humanity in general. And that is to, again, hydrate, breathe correctly, and be sure that you are putting your energy into the energy of all things, the quantum field, as often as possible. Hopefully, you will establish the ability to do it every time you breathe in. The story that humans tell themselves that they only will live a certain number of years is, again, very limiting in terms of extending beyond that age. Humans also have created medicines and or treatments to help the body not age. Sometimes these things are seen as negative. However, they also can be viewed as self-care. If you wish to live a very, very long life as a human, pick a date in the future for which you wish to live. So if you wish to live longer than 80 years as a human, tell yourself now you will live to be 150 or whatever age feels right for you. Once you set your sight on the destination, it is easier to change the story to match where you wish to go. Indeed, take care of your physical body. Treat it with the kindness and respect that you would treat an infant. Learning to continue this process of love for the physical body is what will keep you younger. That and eliminating a lot of the noise from your life that creates stress in your cells. There are ways for humans to determine their age in their physical body. Perhaps that information is interesting to you and you will seek out how to find it. And in doing so, it may give you another way to tell your story so that it does not necessarily align with the reality of the majority of humans on your planet. We encourage you to align your energy with a story outside of all the limiting beliefs you have on your planet. For there, you're going to experience things that are much more exciting and fun, which I think is the goal for many humans. In addition, the body will age more quickly if it is under stress. So for those of you who like to imagine that the pain you are feeling in your body is a lesson, the more lessons you have, the more energy it takes for your cells to endure those lessons, and potentially the shorter your life will be. Extending the human life is as easy as loving and caring for your physical body, engaging in activities that create joy, and leaning into things in your life, making choices in your life that support beauty, love, and openness in the heart. We want to thank you for coming today. If you have additional questions, feel free to put them wherever you put them, and we will get back to you with answers in our next session.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. I'm back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan. That was wonderful.
Yeah, I'll see you all next week. Same time, same channel, different meditation, or maybe the same.
Sounds good.
Sending you all lots of aloha.
Right back at you.